Allison welcomes the group to their first official week on campus. It's week 2 since the competition started. And we find out we're going to have a yellow team. There are going to be 2 more players. And Bob and Jillian get to pick those players. So Bob picks Erin from Detroit. Jillian picks Elizabeth from Massachusetts. I'm very psyched. Go Team Massachusetts. I think Jillian appreciated the fact that Elizabeth actually did the fainting part of faint, die, or keep walking. I'm really glad to see both of those players on the yellow team. The players are nervous and scared, or so they say, but we see shots of them running up the hill, and they're smiling and laughing to meet Jillian and Bob, and I'm thinking, the trainers are going to wipe the smiles off their little faces, and they do. They get into the gym, they meet Jillian and Bob go right to work. They're setting expectations, they're going to work them hard, and they do. And there's no time wasted. Everyone's throwing up, everyone's falling off the treadmills, it's only 2 hours in. Bernie would be proud to see those puke buckets going. Jesse's in tears. Lisa's saying, natural childbirth has nothing on this magic show. I mean, it's pretty intense there in the gym. Rick actually passes out while he's on the treadmill, so he can only do 30 minutes of the workout. Dr. H is definitely in. The office is ready, and he is no holds barred this season. I love it. Lisa walks in. She's smiling. She deteriorates in tears about 5 seconds in when Dr. H tells her, hey, you've got the body of a 62-year-old and you're only 31. You have high cholesterol, your tissue's inflamed. They go right down the line. Tina has fatty tissue around her organs. Aaron is 51% body fat. He also has diabetes. And Adam finds out he has diabetes as well. I mean, some pretty scary stuff that's coming out medically. Patrick has plaque in his neck arteries. He's 30, not even 30, and he's got plaque like a 65-year-old would have it. And then we find out that Rick has a 32% chance of a heart attack in the next 5 years because his body is so damaged by being overweight. The worst part about this entire show was the revelation that Allie had gastric bypass surgery when she was 14. And I love the fact that Dr. H just let it loose, not on Allie so much, but just to tell people, hey, what doctor and what parent would sign off on this in their right mind? The girl is 14. The girl was 14. She didn't even get a chance for a healthy diet or an exercise plan. Boom, straight to surgery for the quick fix. I thought that pretty much sucked. It's the first time in the kitchen, and Jillian and Bob want to figure out what these guys have been eating. They're horrified to find out sandwiches like the Terminator and Gravedigger, which is just full of all sorts of badness and not the goodness that they want them to be eating on the ranch. So it's really back to basics. They tell them they want them to be eating organic, whole, real food. Lean protein, lots of green vegetables, some fruit, some healthy fats, and basically to be eating most of their grains or their carbs in the morning or early in the day so they'll be able to burn them off a little bit better. Day 2 in the gym is hell, pretty much like day number 1, and the crowd is resting at the ranch the second day. And Allison comes in. She's got a surprise. Well, she's got 2 surprises. First, they've got a weigh-in, and second, when she meets them at the gym, all decked out, looking great in a dress and hair that doesn't look like mine, she lets them know that the yellow line has now floated up to the middle, and so 8 contestants will be above the yellow line and 8 will be below, which shocks them. So we find out that it's been 2 weeks since they've weighed in at home, which preps us for some pretty astounding numbers, and they are astounding. It is amazing. So the winner of the group is Rick. He ends up losing about 10% of his body weight, over 30 pounds, and actually the first top 4 finishers all lose over 30 pounds, Mark, Brendan, and Adam. And Ada ends up being the only woman who makes it above the yellow line. Patrick and the rest of the women are below the yellow line. Now that we know the 8 below the yellow line, there's another surprise. Rick, because he lost the highest percentage of body weight, gets to pick someone who's going to be immune from elimination. He picks Patrick, of course. He sticks with green, shows a little loyalty and family style love. The challenge will be a race for 7 flags, and so the first person to get the flag, they run. The first woman to get the flag is safe, and the rest of the group keeps running, and they keep grabbing flags until there are 2 left, 2 women left, and those are going to be the 2 up for elimination. It gets really testy really quickly in there. Tempers start flaring. The lanes are tight. These women are big, and Burgundy pretty much throws a hissy fit. She claims Jessica's, throwing elbows her way, knocking her out of the line. It's just tight in there, and it's just becomes a little more dramatic than it needs to be. But they get down to Tina and Allie as the two that are going to be eliminated. At the elimination, the 8 above the yellow line get to choose who's going home. I was a little bit surprised by this elimination. I really thought that they would send Tina home because they thought she had more family support, but it turns out they chose Allie. I think they were doing a little gameplay thinking Allie was going to be the bigger threat down the road. And as you'll see in the eliminated contestant video below, she did pretty well at home. She really did, and she had some battles when she got there. She didn't have the easiest time with her family. Things were a little stressful, but as you'll see, she turned out to have some help from her Biggest Loser family. She paired up with Danny Cahill, the season 8 winner. I had some clear favorites this episode, no question about it. Rick, I was amazed by. He loses over 10% of his body weight. He lost pretty much the first day of working out. He was only able to work out for 30 minutes. I thought that was awesome. I also thought Mark is one to watch. There's something about him. I think he could turn out to be the surprise in this group. Brendan, of course, Team Massachusetts, but he had that conversation with Bob, and I think emotionally he's already over the first hurdle. He gets it. Aaron, he got a gift from Bob being chosen. He knows it. He got a gift for himself and his family, and I think he's going to make the most of the opportunity. I really like Aaron a lot. And Adam, he was so emotional at the weigh-in. You know, he feels like his mom is watching over him, and he wants to show his heart to the world. You know, he wants to present his best self, and I think Adam is going to also be one to watch in this game. And Ada, I got to give her props. She was the only one that kept up with the boys in this group, and this was a hard weigh-in to watch. And finally, Elizabeth, again, Team Massachusetts. I don't want to hear it. I know I'm playing favorites with my home state, but I think it was great that she beat the asthma and she ended up really securing herself a spot. She did the best she possibly could in that elimination challenge. It was awesome to watch. The only person I really am having trouble getting a read on, and what I have seen so far I'm not crazy about, is Burgundy. She just, you know, it's like that saying, there's no crying in baseball. There's no crying when elbows get thrown. You know, people are out to stay on the ranch, and you got to do the best with what you've got. I thought it was weird that she just went after Jessica like that. So I've got the next on video below. It looks like next week's episode is going to be pretty raucous. Jillian's convinced it's going to be a jock fest, and she doesn't like it. You'll see what she has to say. So that concludes this week's wrap up. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment for me on the blog, and we'll see you next week.